My name is Tuer. I'm a cultural historian and writer. My primary interest is in writing and thinking, reflecting about colonial and post-colonial Latin American art and history. What from my perspective, what is compelling and fascinating about this exhibition is the way it offers us an opportunity to see the larger context of Latin America, North America, but really what's now called the Americas, but really what is America. And so in some ways, because of different histories of colonization, there is this perception of a north-south divide. In reality, we know from histories that actually indigenous peoples tell, that there were trade routes that went all the way from the Arctic to Tierra del Fuego. So there was always a cultural exchange. What this landscape offers is a kind of, when we're thinking about landscape, a vista of this, but of course a vista through a very particular lens. And this lens really gets formed and is dominated by what happens in the 1800s, particularly in the context of Latin America, with the end of the Spanish Empire and the opening up of these spaces to European travelers. The most famous of which is Alexander von Humboldt. And Alexander von Humboldt essentially remaps the way we look at landscape and denudes it of its kind of cultural fabric and re-envisions it as a kind of sublime space. So certainly there's very important work that's done by a number of cultural theorists and commentators that think about how this notion of the sublime, and you see this in the Hudson River School, you see this in Church, you see this in Lauren Harris's Arctic pictures, is that what it does is it erases the histories and the cultures of the land that has become landscape. So to a degree, what this exhibition does is shows us both that sublime landscape, that place of vistas and mountains and empty spaces. But if you look closely, many of the works also still contain traces of that culture, traces of the people who actually live in those spaces, that alerts us to the fact that there are many multiple histories that are both being erased by these landscapes, but are also lodged, or traces of them are lodged within them. What I'm most interested in landscape is deciphering those traces.